we were in our faith, if we were in our belief system, as much as that lady was that day in her wedding, no storm. Oh, I can't do this anymore. How many of you have done it? You made it up in your mind. You were going and it didn't matter. Nothing went your way. Your makeup was pasty, not powdery. It went on and it looked like you had measles. You were trying to do your hair and your hair just went. Me and all you were trying to do was get down a cup of coffee and get out the house, but in the meantime, let the dogs out. Did you water the dog? Did you feed the dogs? Did you give the dogs a bone? Hey, before you leave one more time, would you let the dogs out? See, y'all don't understand where I'm coming from, but I understand where you're coming from. See, I live in it. Man, all we want to do is just get out of the house, get in the car, and just get on with the day. We got to get... But man, it's everything that can happen. I'm going to use my wife as an example because I'm a minister to my wife this morning. I am. This morning might not be for you this morning. Might not be for you this morning. Backing out the driveway. Oh, I left my phone. Get back in the truck. Oh, I spilt my coffee. I just want to go. We got somewhere to be at a certain time. Some of you got them crazy dogs. You open up a door and they gone. That's got to happen right now, right? It's got to happen right now. Right in the midst of everything else that's going on in my life. Now this has got to happen. I can't do this anymore. I go to work. I got my job. I get fired. Oh, it wasn't the good time. We didn't plan for that. I can't do this anymore. I was already late on a mortgage payment. But I haven't even got my car payment paid yet. Now I lose my job. What do you mean I owe taxes? What do you mean Uncle Sam's got his hand out again? I can't do this anymore. Y'all with me? Have you ever said to yourself, by yourself, not in front of your spouse, you definitely didn't do it publicly. I'm the only idiot that'll do stuff like I will put myself on display for the benefit of you, because I know you won't come up here and do it. So just picture me like you this morning. I'm you, a little shorter, a little prettier. But just picture, I'm you this morning, and I'm standing up here, and what I want to do is I want to tell everybody else that I know, and everybody that will at least listen to me for the next 3 hours, that I can't do this anymore. And see, I want you to be able to say this without anybody casting judgment on you, or without anybody grabbing the Bible and hitting you in the face with it and being so judgmental that religion begins to minister to you and not the love of Christ. I want you to be able to stand in a freedom. I want you to be able to stand in a liberty and be so bold to look at God in the eye and say, I can't do this anymore. Y'all okay? Boy, I come in the house this morning swinging a bat, didn't I? Y'all are just... Y'all mind if I do it now? Tommy? Just go ahead and... you can prepare 2 Timothy 4:7, just don't put it up. Because they don't know what it is. They don't know the Scripture. That's why I give it to you so you could put it up here so that we could all be reminded, because I don't know it either. Everything seems to be so complicated right now. It doesn't seem like you can break a way of life in order to live. Why does everything have to be so complicated? Man, why do relationships have to be such an uphill battle? Day after day. Charlie, after all, been married 50 years. Why does it have to be... How many years you been married now? 49. Well, I was close.
That's awesome.
I mean, 49 years.
That's right.
And you're still alive, Charlie. You are blessed and highly favored, brother. See, if you don't believe the Bible says that when you find a wife, you find a good thing. Look at that. Whew. Keeps you young or wears you out? Which one? Finances, man. Finances has got to be a struggle. It's a daily thing all the time. You know what I used to hate? I used to hate real bad was when the financial institution would send me a notice in the mail. And they would call me. Oh, this is just a friendly reminder. You ain't trying to remind me. You know I owe you, and I already know I owe you. I don't want to talk to you right now. See, I'm just trying to be like you right now without judgment. Right, check, is it? Oh, okay, will y'all let me have a Wednesday? I even dressed like it was Wednesday. I done it with intention this morning. I dressed just like this on purpose. It wasn't by mistake. I didn't fall into my closet and it was on purpose, intentional. Because I figured it'd be a nice one. I'm ready to run. I can take these shoes off quick and throw them. They don't even lace. Quit talking to me when I'm in the middle of something. I'm trying to keep my track of mind. Where was I at? Where was I? No, before that.
The checks in the mail.
Ah, checks in the mail. Here it goes. See, somebody's listening. I would expect my sister to be all in. She was so far. She was worried about all the struggles. But let me help you. I mean, here we are. Man, it was so funny because I think we done it by accident. At least I hope that we did when we mailed one check to somebody and had one come back. Did you mail the electric check to the building, to the water? Anyway, whether it was water to billing or water to electric, whatever it was, there were two checks that one went one where one. I said, well, that's a good one. But why does everything have to be a struggle? All I want to do, Michelle, is if I could just, has anybody ever said this? If I could just have one day, listen, I'm not even trying to be greedy right now. I'm just asking for one day. One day of no pain, one day of no aggravation, one day of no finance issue or thought problem or any. One day of my wife not saying, will you take the dogs out? Just, can I have just one day? Is it just me? Okay. Ma'am. I hope this ain't a struggle email. Can I just have one day of peace? I already know I owe you. Matter of fact, I know I owe you so well that I already sent it. Just one day. Anybody else in here like to have just one? Let's go to 2 Timothy 4:7. Now this is, you have to remember, this is Paul, and Paul is talking to the one that he's training. And Paul is his lights are dimming. Paul is on his way from this world to the next. Paul is ready to hang his hat for the final time. And Paul decides to write to Timothy and tell Timothy this. Timothy, and Paul decides to I have fought, and Paul decides to the good fight. Timothy and tell Timothy this. Timothy, I have fought, and I have finished the race. And Paul decides the good fight. I have finished the faith. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. It's not that Paul hasn't had a fight, and it's not that what Paul has been fighting has been a good one. He's just saying that he's done good with the fight that he was given. I wonder how many of us can wake up with the confidence that what we fought yesterday, we fought well. Selah. How many of you right there just went ahead and went pause, rewind, and played yesterday through real quick to see if you fought a good fight? Not that what you faced was good, because we already know. We've already come to this conclusion. We have gone through every day of our life without just a moment's of rest. We can't get one day in our life, because it always seems like there's something. I wonder if we're going to be able to. You know what? Let's do this. I want you to feel good. It's the first, isn't it? Pastor wants us to feel good. Pastor normally just beats us down and makes us go out and scratch our head going, why in the world? But I want you to feel good. So, starting right now, we're going to live our life. And we're going to fight a good fight. I know you haven't been fighting it good last week. I know yesterday was a struggle. I know this morning, boy, there was some mind changing, some mind altering, even about going to church. Because Paul says, I've fought the good fight. It's not that I didn't have struggles. It's not that the things that I faced were all good. I mean, if you know anything about Paul, poor Paul. But he said, I fought the good fight. He said, I want you to know, Timothy, that there's going to be things in your life that you're not going to be able to control. And matter of fact, if you choose today to serve the Lord at any capacity of a disciple. See how I done that? Because most people just want to serve the Lord as a Christian. There's a difference. I don't have but 3 hours. I've got to push. If you're going to serve the Lord, Timothy, in any capacity, you're going to have to fight the good fight. And you're going to face adversity. And there's going to be things that you didn't ask for. There's going to be things that you didn't sow seed for. There's going to be issues in your life that you may feel are unjust, unfair, inappropriate, wrong time. Getting drug into other people's trouble because they want to. Can I help y'all some? If all they want to do is talk about the woes, hang the phone up. But pastor, hang the phone up. It's kind of like don't worry about tomorrow. It's got troubles of its own. I'm not going to worry about your troubles because I got troubles of my own. I love you. You bike ride, ice cream, dinner, I'm in. Not every day. That's why I put y'all on pause. Sometime y'all call, I just go voicemail. I'm joking. I told you this morning, I give you some detail this morning, and I said I can't do this anymore. I was telling you that I can't do this anymore. I'm talking on your behalf. I'm speaking things that you're not willing to speak. Can you imagine? How many of you in here, and y'all going to go ahead and y'all going to help me, participatory sermon. How many of you in here right now have a problem? And whatever level it's on, have a problem. Now, how many of you, keep your hands up, follow along, play along. How many of you have some friends that have a problem? Oh, so we raising 2 hands now, got one raising feet. Okay, how many of you have more than just a friend that have a problem? Do you think that any of their friends might have problems? Now, I want you to think about this. Now you know how pastor feels. Could you imagine your phone, your email, your text messages? If everybody had to come to you. Now ask me again. Why did you say I can't do this anymore? You with me? I just want you to get a sense of how life can happen and how fast it can happen and how much of a whirlwind it can toss you into when you're not prepared for it and what that could be to your faith. Because so many of us, we have a problem. We have a problem. And this problem is, God, it's not what you done yesterday. What have you done for me lately? See, because he could have given you a flat-out miracle yesterday. He could have healed cancer. And today, because you stumped a toe or your husband said something, now the world done turned upside down. Boy, how soon we forget how God has snatched us out of despair. And because of something else, can I tell you, Jesus even said, he said, listen, don't be crazy. Don't get it twisted. This is the RDN version. Don't get crazy and don't get it twisted. You're going to face tribulation in this life. That's what he said. And we think that every day is supposed to be. Boy, as soon as life turns upside down on us, we want to start pointing fingers at God. And if God ain't listening, we want to point fingers at our husbands and our wives. And then our sisters. Right? Isn't that what we do? It's a deflection mechanism. So that I don't have to take all the pressure. I want to give you some of it, so I'm going to make you a part of it. Now I got somebody I can go off on. If you would have done what I told you. It's not that the fight he fought was good. It was how he fought the fight that was good. I wrote this little note and said, some of us get caught up in our quit because the fight we are fighting seems to be unfair. It seems to be unjust. You ever been caught in a battle that you just, man, I didn't do anything to deserve this, and the fight won't go away? You go to bed with the fight. You wake up with the fight. You live in the fight. I can't do this anymore. See how our quit? Can I get a chair? I don't want to sit on one of mine. Here, this is easier. You're over struggling. That big guy right there can't break loose the chair. And look how easy little man done it. See what I mean? Boy, I'm going to tell you what. I told y'all this might turn into a Wednesday. I just can't. It's too much. Honey, what's wrong? Nothing. I'm just tired every time I turn around. Nothing ever seems to go right. I don't know who I'm talking to. I want you to understand Paul from Paul's perspective. See, it's one thing to look at someone and you have not gone through what they are going through or what they have gone through, and you look at them and with your religious self, you tell them, well, you know that the Lord will never leave nor forsake. Shut up. I don't want to hear that. See, I'll challenge you because I know some of you go, well, that's the Lord's word. I would not. Yes, you do it. You do it. See, if you're not doing it, then you haven't run up into the whirlwind of life that has caused so much chaos and so much confusion, and you don't know where to go, you don't know where to turn, you don't have the finances to fix it, you don't have the influences to fix it, you don't have the relationships to fix it, you don't have the church to fix it, you don't have the pastor to fix it, you don't have the spouse to... I'm talking about that whirlwind. When it seems as though you're standing all by yourself. Can't do this anymore. Oh, now wait a minute. It's not that you haven't tried. Remember I told you I want you to feel good? It's not that you haven't tried. You've tried. You've done some things differently. Instead of baking the cake at 350, you've done it at 365 this time. Apparently I went overboard. Look, Miss Linda said, yep, Lisa's going, shoo. Okay, sorry. Maybe I should have consulted. But you've done things differently to fight what's hit you. You've changed. You've done some things, and you've changed your lifestyle, your eating habits. You've changed things. You've changed on how you treat one another. You've changed things. You've changed how you discipline your children. You've changed things. I'm not saying that you haven't tried to change. I know you've tried. You've tried everything possible in your strength. And every day, it seems as though you become more tired, more agitated, more aggravated, more depressed, more... You fill in the blank. You know how you feel the more of every day. It seems like everything in your life is just going downhill, and I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. But see, when Paul spoke about this, Paul wasn't telling Timothy, he didn't tell Timothy, look, I fought a good fight because I didn't have anything. I was good. I took care of this. I'm hanging my hat. I've done well. Going to the house. I want you to listen to this. Tommy, I didn't give you this, but I think this is a good spot for this. Do 2 Corinthians. And just keep it in the NIV, make it easy on you. 2 Corinthians 11, and do 24 through 31. Yeah. Hurry up, because I don't want to lose them. Okay. Now look, hurry up. Paul says, I've fought the good fight. Hurry up, because I don't want to lose them. Okay. Hurry up. Paul says, I've done a thing, Timothy. Paul says, I've fought the good fight. And see, if you don't know anything about Paul's life, you don't really understand how he's speaking to Timothy. But watch, this is Paul talking to the Corinth church. Look, he says 5 times he's letting them know the things that he's gone through, the battles that he's had to face. Watch. I mean, listen, if there's anybody that has the ultimate right to say, I have fought the good fight, I have kept the faith, it is Paul. He said 5 times I received from the Jews the 40 lashes minus 1. He got beat based on your theology, just like Jesus. But I've trumped your theology because I told you it was the Romans that beat Jesus. It wasn't the Jews. The Jews stayed at 39 because they was afraid of the 40 killing. The Romans didn't have a 39. The Romans said, beat them within an inch of their life. Just give them enough strength to take them to the cross and make them carry. You're welcome. That was free. You didn't even have to put nothing in the offering. Oh, by the way, we're going to take that too. If you're watching online, just go ahead and send it. Oh, by the way, we're going to take that too. They eating too? Food ain't free. Never mind. Okay, 3 times I was beaten with rods. Once I was pelted with stones. 3 times I was shipwrecked. I mean, if I'm going to be shipwrecked one time, I ain't going back. Anybody? Okay, if you have a plane crash one time, are you going back? Mm-hmm. If I shipwreck one time, I ain't going back. I'm not even getting on the John boat. If I shipwreck one time, I ain't going back. We're not floating Craig's Creek. We ain't doing none of that nonsense. It's just going to take one. Listen, if you don't learn by one, you got issues up here. Listen, if you don't learn by one, I was shipwrecked. Spent a night and a day in the open sea. I was shipwrecked for just 5 minutes because I've been there out in the open sea. It's been a night and a day in the open sea.
There's a lot of water.
Just 5 minutes.
There's some big creatures living up in that sea that we ain't seen. You can't tell me that science and every man has put fingers. God's bigger than that. You can't tell me that we've seen everything that He. Nope. God's bigger than that. That's why we found a new flower today. You can't tell me that we've seen everything that He. You might have found it, but that's why
I have been constantly on the move.
we found a new flower today.
Anybody? I have been constantly
You're always
on the
going.
move. I have been constantly on the move.
Anybody?
I have been
You're always
on the
going.
move.
Oh,
I have
God, you
been
got 'em this morning.
constantly on the move. I've been in danger from rivers, in danger from bandits. I've been in danger from rivers, in danger from bandits. From rivers, in danger from bandits. I've been in danger from rivers, in danger from my fellow.
Come on, Paul.
In danger from my fellow Jews. From my fellow.
Christian
In
people
danger
don't
from
treat
my fellow.
Christian
From my
people
fellow
like that.
Jews. From his fellow Jews. From my fellow.
Like that.
From his fellow Jews.
Just like him.
From his fellow Jews.
Man, you we. I understand now, Paul.
In danger from Gentiles, I'm okay with that. I'll always be in danger from a non-believer. Right? You can't expect.
I'm gonna help some of y'all other religious people.
You can't expect sinners to act like Christians. Why are you getting upset because of what they say or how they dress or where they go or what they? Why are you involving yourself in how a sinner acts? Why are you involved? Because of your expectation and your disappointment. How do you expect the sinner to act like a Christian when the sinner don't even know Christ and you just as bad as the sinner and you supposedly know Christ, but you still the sinner don't even know to act like a Christian when
Y'all better leave people alone. Be careful not to judge, lest you be judged with the same measure. Pastor, you said we just gonna make us feel good this morning. I'm coming.
in danger in danger in the city, in danger in the country. Boy, you know it's bad when you're in danger in the country. I mean, the worst thing you worry about in the country is your chickens getting loose. In danger in the country. Boy, you know it's bad. Or a coyote eating a chicken. Or a squirrel jumping down in a chicken coop and getting his butt spanked. You ever seen a chicken beat a squirrel? David was telling me that story. Anyway, in danger at sea and in danger from false believers. In danger at sea and in danger at sea and in danger from false believers. I have labored and toiled and have often gone without sleep. Anybody? I have labored and toiled. I have known hunger, gone without and
Splitting hot dogs.
gone without sleep.
And thirst, and have often gone without food.
Hunger, gone without sleep.
Hot dogs.
And thirst,
Tommy?
have often gone without thirst.
Just checking. See if you
Often
back there.
gone without. I have been cold and naked. And thirst. Besides everything else, I face daily the pressure of my concern for all the churches. Besides everything else, I face
Look,
daily
all the rest of it, he could not even have written down and just wrote that down, and I would have been right there with him. Because and I'm not saying that jokingly. I'm telling you from sincerity, because I'm watching churches fall away from a gospel, and they're preaching their own gospel for the tickling of someone's itchy ears. And they're preaching. Call it what you want. I don't care. Really, doesn't hurt my feelings at all. And I can't fix it. Have you ever gone to a friend and try to tell a friend where they're doing wrong? And they look at you and just openly arm accept it. Have you ever gone to a friend and try to tell? No? Most of them what? Don't you tell me how to live. Don't you tell me how I should treat my husband. Don't tell me how I should discipline my kid. Don't tell me where I should work. Don't tell me what I should wear. Don't tell me how I should talk. And these are friends. 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 Who is weak, and I do not feel weak.
You're weak, and I don't feel it. Did y'all get how he just said that to Timothy? Who's weak? And I don't. Did you not just read everything that I just told you? I'm wondering if Timothy said, hey, but Paul, I'm not sure you understand everything. Who is led into sin, and I do not inwardly burn. If I must boast, I will boast of the things that show my weaknesses. The God and Father of the Lord Jesus, who is to be praised forever, knows that I'm not lying. See, you can consider anything that I say. Call it a lie, whatever you want to call it. But Paul said, boy, what a freedom and a liberty you can have when you can speak and you know that you're speaking the truth. And see, a lot of the times you get upset and angry when you're speaking something that may not be true and someone objects to it. You're trying to turn a lie into a truth. Well, never mind. I'm not going to get into all that with you right now because y'all just keep getting mad. Watch 1 Peter. 1 Peter 4, 12 through 13. This is the Message. Listen to what it says. Friends, when life gets really difficult, don't jump to conclusions that God isn't on the job. Instead, be glad that you're in the very thick of what Christ experienced. I'm sorry, I have a hard time swallowing this one. Be happy, be glad. Oh, just rejoice that you're just going through so much hell in your life. Rejoice. Because after all, Christ experienced it. This is a spiritual refining process. Don't some of you just wish that you could just go ahead and mature to the level of Christ so that you wouldn't be no more challenged, or you didn't have to take the tests no more? I think it was Paul that said, not that I have obtained. He was basically saying, I ain't been there. I'm not there yet. But what I do know, that I let go of the things behind me. Now I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you in your process of when you say, I can't do this anymore. Now here comes the help. See, when you can't, oh, but wait a minute. Not that he can't, because he can even when you can.
That's right.
So don't get it twisted. He's not just able to do it when you can't. He can do it before you even thought about doing it. So even when you can't, he will. Your lack of doesn't make him. Your lack will position God to have open authority in your life to do what needs to be done. But until you let go, he can't do. See, now some of you don't like that either. Because God is in control. God is in control. And yet, while we just sat here the last 15 seconds, how many babies was aborted? Listen, He is in control when we let Him be in control.
Amen.
Here comes letters and emails and, oh, so you think you're bigger than God now? You think you're my baby? Save them. Save your crowns for your coloring books. When He set us up here, He set us up with dominion. And He says, now have dominion. Be fruitful and multiply. In your journey, I'm just running you through the Bible now. In your journey, I can't be here to hold your hand, but it's better for you that I leave because I'm going to send you somebody just like me. And He's going to give you the power to become sons of God, to become matured ones. Wonder how many of us are still fighting to break the habit of pacifiers and bottles, being spoon-fed every Sunday. And you want to know why Monday through Saturday is just torment. You're living on baby food. When's the last time you sat down before God and said, hey, I can't do this anymore, and I need some help? Now, whatever it is you want me to do, I'll do it. Well, but God, does it have to be Tuesday? We want Him in our calendars, but only on the days that we have slots for Him. Oh, there's days I don't want Him in the middle of something. Just last week, I said, hey, can you sit right here just a minute? I'll be right back. See, when I say stuff like that, people go, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do this membership thing. I think I'm... Listen, I want you to know that we're all in this fight together. And you can fight a good fight if you so desire. But the moment that everything else in your life becomes more important than the word that's being spoken, when things in your life become more important than God wanting to interrupt your day, when everything in your life becomes more important, not today, not right now. Oh, we got to slide our meal to the center of the table again because somebody called and we got to go. God, can you have them call back in an hour? I don't want to be inconvenienced today. Don't you know what happened to me yesterday? Don't you know what I went through last week? Don't you know the news that I got? Does it have to be today? I just can't do this anymore. Instead, be glad that you're in the very thick of what Christ experienced. This is a spiritual refining process with glory just around the corner. Can't you just let me see it straightway so I know it's there? Why's it got to be around the corner? Because I can't see. There was a scripture that really broke free in me one time, and it was talking about how we don't have to hope for things, have faith for things that we can see. There's no need for faith then. So if you can see and touch everything that you're believing in, it's not faith. don't have to hope for stuff I already have. If I already have it, why am I hoping for it? And I've read that scripture and went, so that's why you hide things from me? I can't do this anymore. I mean, it's almost, when you choose to follow Christ, it's almost like walking in a maze, because glory is always around the corner. Anybody ever seen a maze? I wish you could find one on Google and put it up so we could see a maze. That's what it's going to be like following Jesus. Because he's setting glory up around the corner. But see, you've got to be willing to walk this way today in order to go around that corner tomorrow. But too many of us, we jump on the quit wagon. Because after all, today was just like yesterday. It's the same garbage. It's the same pain. It's the same disheartening. It's the same heartbreaks. It's the same financial issue. It's the same relation problem. Why bother? And you will look at people that commit suicide, and this is what you will say. Y'all ready? This is what you will say. That's just selfish. If that just offended you, I'm sorry, but you need to get that out your mouth. What you ought to be saying is, thanks be to God for His grace on my life, that He equips and He empowers me to continue to live and to continue to move on. Yeah. Not so much how selfish it is. I think if I ever hear that from someone, I'm probably going to hit them in the mouth and get sued. Because I'm tired of hearing it's not a matter of selfishness. See, they reached a point. Oh, and even Christians. Well, Christians are going to go to hell. See, don't start that crazy theology again either, right? Whatever. The moment that you think that somebody ends up in hell because they took their life is the moment that now you have set your mind on the same level as God. And can I tell you, you'll never have His thoughts. You do not understand grace the way you think you understand it. Even though you should understand it pretty deep, because you were a jacked up, still jacked up people. And it's by the grace of God that you're even able to take a breath. It's by the grace of God that you're able to even offer up a worship or a thank you or a praise. See, you arrogant, self-minded. While we're on the topic of Paul, let's stay on Paul. It's by God's grace that we move and we breathe and we have our being. It's by the grace of God. By no other works. It's by the grace of God. Watch how Paul jumps into Galatians. Go to Galatians 5, Tommy. Watch how Paul jumps in, and Paul wants to talk to the Galatians about all of this stuff and everything that's going on. And he says, man, you were running a good race. About all of this stuff and everything that's going on. And he says, man, you had it together. Man, you were steadfast in the faith. You was running a good race together. Man, you cut in on you. You were steadfast in the faith. You was running. Who came to your house and told you? Well, I tried that. I'm not good at. Who came to your house and told you? Who misplaced God in your life and caused you to be different, caused you to act different, to keep you from obeying the truth? You was doing so good. You was doing so good last week. What happened? This is what Paul is telling, because the Galatians, somebody had come in with this false gospel, and they were starting to tell them people that, oh, you have to be circumcised, and it was all about circumcision. See, it couldn't. Paul woke them up and said, hey, wait a minute, listen. And if you continue reading, you'll find that Paul started talking about, he said, at one time I preached circumcision. And if I preach circumcision and that was the key, then why do I face such persecution?
That's right.
See, it's amazing to me how people will change their life because after a while they will try a certain thing and they go, not working. Wow. And Paul said, I preached it. Who's coming in here preaching this false gospel after I have taught you that it was by the blood of Christ?
That's right.
Not works, not law, not blood and law, not blood and works. It was by the blood. Now, who is telling you that you have to add to the blood? Do you know that everything that you add to the blood of Christ over your life, you're diluting the power in which it has in your life? Get in your life. Because if I'd have said, I'd have got that text message or something. The phone's probably in there going. Who's taught you this? Who's taught you another way? Man, you were doing so well. Can you walk with me? I'll be easy. I love you. I'll be easy. If I wanted to be mean, I'd have grabbed one of them little boys back there. Don't think you out of it. Don't think you're out the woods yet. Doing so well. Nothing could alter your mindset. Who's come in and taught you differently? See, all we have to do is just don't have to run. We can, I'll be easy. We take one step at a time because you're not going to walk it alone. Christ modeled everything in our life before us, before he required of us to walk such a walk. I know today didn't look like, but it's okay, because if I'll just doesn't have to happen overnight. See, your rest. Oh, here's a hard one. Because children of Israel, there were two tribes that were given land prior to crossing the Jordan. And they were just going to hang out. And Joshua came and said, time out, brother. There's no rest for you until all.
Amen.
So see, we go back to 2 Corinthians. It doesn't matter the things that we have to face, because we're going to have to face things. And Galatians, we already know that we were taught one thing, so we can't bend to make it seem like, but it really isn't. So we still have to to go. We might have 40 lashes minus one, but we're going to have to go because there's still others that need. And then there's 3 times we were beaten with rods, and once we were pelted with stones, and 3 times we might have been shipwrecked and left by ourselves, but we have to keep going because there's still others. And then I've spent a day and a night in the open sea. I wish he would have put in there that I've done time in the wilderness. I have been constantly on the move. We have to keep going. We can't stop because there's still too much stuff that we got to get done. And I've been in danger from rivers. I've been in danger from bandits. We've had the hellions chasing us. We've had fellow Jews chasing us. But it's okay. We got to keep walking. And in the danger from Gentiles in the city, in the country, we've been in danger. We've been in danger at the sea. We've had the false believers. We've had them all. See, everybody wants to come in and everybody wants to give a tale of well, I don't know. And if you just continue to go, man, I just can't do this anymore, and you allow other people to infiltrate what we've been taught and where we're supposed to go, then it causes us to stand up again. And then we keep forgetting everything else that everybody else saying, and we stand up again and we keep walking and we have to keep going. You can't stop because of the trial that you're facing. Jesus never stopped in the midst of his trial. He did not stop until he reached his goal, and he said, "It is finished. I've done it. I fought the good fight." But too many times, just because of adversity, we find ourselves and we lay back in our chair. I told you I'd be nice. I'll let you sit down. See, there's something you don't understand that I do. As for me and my house, well, Pastor, I will shut circles off. I'll disconnect your phone numbers. I'm being polite about it. Because, see, there's been a teaching here, Miss Linda, that God is Lord. Not you, not your opinion, not your Google. Choose you this day. See, it's a choice. We have to make this choice every day, baby. You can't make it for us. Because guess what? You go through trials and tribulations too. And if I depend on you, without hurting your feelings, being nice and setting you down real easy and gentle, if I have to depend on you, you'll screw my whole life up. I was being gentle. Very easy. Because there is one that is unchangeable. Does that mean everything goes away? No, we already know that. But there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way that when we're done, that when life is over and everything's finished, and we're on the brink of glory, that's right around the corner, we can hang our hat and we can say, I fought a good fight. I've kept the faith. So no matter how many times you find yourself sitting throughout the day or throughout the week saying, can't do this anymore. Consider Jesus and what he went through for you. Pastor, that's easier said than... Well, I hear that nonsense too. Duh! As if I don't know that. I know it's easier said than done. But if all I keep doing is the do and not the say, I'm going to live in the do. The do. Live, do. Never mind. I don't want to live there, man. Why would you want to stay in the mess you're in? Is it that comfortable? Or, I mean, do you experience something better in your old nasty that I'm not aware of and that I don't experience? Because if there was a way that you can figure out that you experience something better there than what you experience here, I'd like to know, because it's easier to live here for me than it is to live for Christ. Didn't say I did. I said it's easier. Yes, and it's easier for you too, because you do it every day. You will find yourself... We all jump into flesh because it's easier. Paul told Galatians, he said, it's not I that lives. It's Christ that lives in me. We can't live our life for ourselves. Man, I was thinking about this morning. And I'm going, God, there has to be something in the end. There has to be. See, we can't take the chance whether it will be or won't be. There has to be something in the end. My God, the things that you fight for in the flesh, in the physical life, the things that you fight for there are things that you know that's going to bring a reward if you win. Am I correct or am I wrong? Am I preaching or am I not preaching? We will fight for things that will bring a reward in this life. Yes, we will. We do it every day. If we know that there's going to be a reward by God, we're going to fight until we get the reward. Ask me how I know. We're going to fight until we get to the end. Can I tell you something? That there is just as much, if not more, probably so, in glory. Now, we shouldn't live our life. See, I get so twisted with stuff like that because I hear the religious spirit go, there you go, teach them that, teach them that, teach them that. And then I got to come back and go, nope, now I'm going to hurt their feelings. I don't want you serving God so that it's better. I don't want you sacrificing everything here so that you can get to heaven. I don't want you fighting to be saved and to live a life for Jesus so you can be healed one day over in glory land. Because see, if that is your mentality, if that is your theology, if that is your belief system, then my friend, I think I would step out to say that you're in error. Because now we're serving for what He can do, not for who He is. Do you not know that we serve the Creator? To love Him should be easy. Why is it so hard? Oh, Pastor, no, I love Him. You're lying. Because He said, He made it simple. He made it extremely simple. He said, if you love me, are y'all kidding me? He said, if you love me, I can't do this anymore. He said, if you love me, you will obey me. Please don't forget that. Again, be a quiz on Wednesday. And every day we disobey him. Not, okay, I want you to feel good. That's why we're going to do, Tommy will pick a couple of praise worship songs, and that's what we'll put them together, and then they can feel good when they leave. Because right now I feel like I'm cutting. Some of us say, well, I didn't mean to do it. Oops, that slipped. Aren't you glad he didn't slip off the cross? I'm not trying to be religious on you and tell you that you got to go through and obey the 632. I'm a whole. Aaron said 632 extra laws or laws. No, they were the extra laws, weren't they? They were the extra laws. They were above the 10, so there were 642 according to Aaron. He's over there fact checking. Don't you love? Hey, buy YouTube, buy Facebook. We'd love to see you.